All right. I'm Stevenson UD here with Andre Rozier, one of the best trainers in the world. My guy, always beating people up in the gym. How you feeling today, man?
What the deal, what the deal, what the deal, nephew? Man, listen, it's hotter than 8 4th of Julys up in this joint.
It is ridiculous, man, but gotta put in the work. Let's talk about these fights. Let's actually start with the co-main event. Shakur Stevenson against Hamzah Zepeda. Did you think it would look as seemingly one-sided as it was? And I say it was one-sided because one judge gave him 1 round only to Zepeda, and the 2 judges gave only 2 rounds to Zepeda. Did you think it was that lopsided, or you thought it was a little closer than that?
Oh, I definitely thought it was closer than that. Not that I didn't have Shakur winning the fight, but it was definitely closer. Zepeda came to represent himself. He stayed busy, threw lots of punches. He landed lots of punches. I mean, Shakur was trying to show that he's not quote unquote the road runner. He stood his ground. I didn't like that he laid on the ropes as much as he did. He should have been in the middle of the ring doing that. But I could understand his intention, which was to show the people that I'm not afraid to fight.
Looking at that fight, did it make you kind of, because when I spoke to like a bunch of people, you know, like a bunch of fighters after the fight, they were just like, yo, Shakur just reminds them of Floyd Mayweather. Does he remind you of Floyd, or does he remind you of somebody else, or is he just like, nah, he's just Shakur Stevenson?
I would say he's just Shakur Stevenson. Nobody's Mayweather, honestly. Nobody did it like him, Shakur. He had everybody does the quote unquote little shoulder roll. I mean that's a Floyd Mayweather. That's a Mayweather family ingredient, but they don't do it like the Mayweathers. So let's just leave it at that. But I thought he could have controlled more of the narrative by being in the middle of the ring and using his defensive skills without running, quote unquote, and picking off shots and combinating and keeping Zepeda at bay.
There's a lot of work for Shakur at 135. Who do you think is gonna? Well, Gervonta, obviously, but is Gervonta the only guy that you think is gonna give him? Where you're just like, I'm not sure. Do you think it could also be a guy like Andy Cruz, a guy like Abdullah Mason? Keyshawn's never gonna fight him, and Keyshawn's fighting at 140 anyways. But I guess just those 2 guys, or maybe like a few others like Raymond Moritalia. Is there anybody else other than Gervonta, or do you think no, it's just Gervonta where it's going to be a 50-50 fight?
Well, Gervonta is the cream of the crop. No matter what he's going through, how he's doing it, he's a bad little guy, definitely. So you have to gauge everything by him through him. Andy Cruz is very talented, but he hasn't been on that level, on the level those guys are at yet, even though he's rolling. So until I see him face really, really stiff, upper capability opposition, I'm gonna be reserved with Andy Cruz. Literally, Abdullah Mesa, those are young guys. I think Abdullah would, at this point in time, score without boxing, control him, teach him, things of that nature. He's not ready for that yet.
Are you favoring Gervonta over Shakur though, or is Shakur just he's almost untouchable at 135?
Well, no, we see he's not untouchable because he got touched on Saturday.
True.
And that was one of my worries. Of course, I know he wouldn't do the same thing with Gervonta because that would be suicide. He got hit in a fight, took him well, but Zepeda's not a hellacious puncher, not a big puncher. You can't take shots like that and expect to survive against somebody like Tank Davis. It wouldn't happen. So he'd have to change his game planning, maybe get back to being a pure boxer.
Moving on to the main event, Edgar Berlanga, he just wasn't competitive in that fight. Got dropped twice in the 4th, stopped in the 5th. It's one thing to lose the fight. It's another thing to, even losing the fight really badly. That's okay. But how much does his stock drop? Because he talks so much shit. And then he went out there and he got pretty much dominated.
Well, the thing that you have to realize is that he, in his mind, I believe he was selling the event by the antics of boxing. But I think he just went too far, and he brought the disdain of the fans on his shoulders. And then when you end up having a performance like he did, it almost brings the house down on you. You have to absorb the repercussions of your actions.
Yeah.
And as for the fight, I had him starting off well. I wish he would have jabbed and double jabbed more than he did. He had too many moments of inconsistency and too many moments where he allowed Shiraz to be in contact to do what he did.
Can Berlanga bounce back? And bounce back meaning get back to, fighting the top tier guys like Shiraz and Canelo, and can he eventually beat one of those guys?
Well, that's entirely up to Edgar. He's a nephew. I love him to death. I received a million calls, of course, about it. And what did I think? What happened? What did he do wrong? This, that, and the other thing. I can't answer those questions because I didn't work with him, so I don't know. But I can tell you that he did not remain consistent. He had to use his jab for 12 rounds. And I always tell all the kids here in the gym and my pro guys, you can win a fight with a jab. You can. Especially if you have a really good, powerful jab. He started off controlling the narrative, and then he became inconsistent. He didn't remain compliant to the jab, and that got him in big trouble.
Shiraz, he's in line to face Canelo. He's so it's kind of hard to talk about this because Canelo fighting Crawford, and Crawford is an all-time great. So Canelo might just very well lose that fight. Who do you think Shiraz should fight in the meanwhile? You think it could be a guy like Demetrius Andrade, or Jamal Charlo, or Pacheco, Christian and Billy? Like, what do you think makes the most sense? Maybe even if Chris Eubank Jr. wins that fight. Like, what do you think makes sense for him as he might be waiting for Canelo or, the next his next type of fight, I guess you could say.
Well, I like, honestly, to say the truth, I like the European aspect of him, Shiraz, and Eubanks Jr. going at it. The upcoming rematch, which in my mind makes no sense. It's just really just a waste of time, even though they went at it. He was at a disproportionate weight disadvantage. I don't even know why he's doing it again, to tell you the truth. If money's that important to you, I would go up and try to find the bigger money. But I'm just saying, I'm a purist when it comes to this. The world of boxing has changed a bit. It's all about let's make a fight and let's make as much money as possible, which is why it's called prize fighting. But let's get some real fights going. I'm sick and tired of seeing welterweights fight middleweights and all this other monkey business. Let's get down to the brass knuckles about it. And that would be a great fight. Shiraz and Eubanks Jr., they're both from England. Make it do what it do.
Just two more questions for you. One, how many, I guess you can say tune-ups, don't really like calling guys tune-ups, but how many tune-ups do you think Edgar needs before, his confidence gets back up? And do you think Shiraz is the number one contender at 168 pounds? Like higher up than, and Billy and Pacheco and those guys? Who do you think is the number one contender?
Well, I have to go with Billy. Shiraz just went to 168. So he's on new ground. He's the new guy in school. I have to go who's been consistently doing it, which is Mbali. So I'm gonna give the nod to him. And there's a bunch of great fights that could be made there with the second tier. After Canelo and Crawford get their work done, we have to see exactly what's going on and take it from there.
How long do you think it'll take for Edgar to rebuild his confidence and rebuild himself?
That we'd have to see, depending on his next fight and who he would fight. I mean, he can't go back to fighting bums because everybody in the world will be like, that's what got you to where you were right here in the Shiraz fight.
What is there like a particular name you think makes a little bit of sense to 68?
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, if his confidence is shaky now, he couldn't even. You can't even get in there with the big dogs. You can't even get in there. You can't even get in there with a guy like Charlo that just moved up to 68 because he has the experience and the know-how to control the atmosphere. He has a fantastic jab, and he knows how to win with it. He's never lost a fight.
Yeah.
So you can't even look in that direction. It'd be kind of dangerous.
You think maybe spitballing, maybe like a Gabe Lozado, maybe makes sense?
Well, that really don't make sense because he's not fighting now. But if he's come back to
he actually has a comeback fight on August 2nd, actually. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's headlining in California, actually. Yeah.
Guess who?
Like a journeyman guy. He's
the milkman.
Basically.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Well, I mean, even for Gabe, that's safe because he hasn't been boxing. But I don't want to take that out of context because at that point in time, he wouldn't need that. It wouldn't look good on the resume. It's like you went 10 steps backwards. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say. He's going to have to reflect, take a little moment to get right and reset and see where his heart and his head is.
Got it. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate it.
No doubt. Let's go. July 25th, Suicide, Melrose, Queens. Let's go. We'll come back.